Have y'all ever played a game that you just absolutely adore, but you also know deep down in your heart of hearts that nobody else is going to like it? That for whatever reason people just will not give it a chance even though you played it and you know that it's fantastic? I personally remember feeling that way about both Pope LaCroix and Arc-Res Fantasia. And now that same old feeling is coming back again with today's game, Monochrome Mobius Rights and Wrongs Forgotten. So come on with me and let me tell you all about this great gem. This is coming out for the PS4 and 5 on September 5th in North America and September 8th in Europe. And it's actually celebrating the 20th anniversary of the, bear with me here, Utowerumono series, of which my history is pretty much non-existent. Basically, I know that the series exists, and I also know that they're visual novels, but I'm just not a fan of visual novels, so I have avoided them all. However, this here is a turn-based traditional normal JRPG with a pretty cracking battle system, if I do say so myself. A couple of things that you're going to want to know right off the bat is that you can choose to play in either normal or hard modes, and that it is unfortunately only having Japanese voice acting. Strange terms and weird names are going to be coming at you hard and fast. Couple that with the characters droning on in a language that I don't understand, and I quickly turned off the voice acting just so I could try to comprehend the plot as easily as possible without all this gibberish going on in the background. However though, similar to Final Fantasy XVI, there is an in-game encyclopedia that you can pull up detailing all of the very strange and very Japanese terminology used here. The story opens up as Pashpakur and his daughter Shunya are fighting against the evil Maya court, and with Pashpakur's dying breath, he opens up a portal to another world and begs Shunya to jump on through and find her long-lost brother Ashtor. You, the player, don't really know what's going on as you take control of Ashtor, a Mononofu who protects the village. Remember what I said about strange terms and names? This isn't even the half of it. I'm really just trying to keep it as simple as possible. Anyway, apparently the village has been under attack by an unknown assailant ravaging the fields and slaughtering the animals. It just so happens that this is Shunya, so you chase after her, give her a good old-fashioned beatdown, and it's only then that you find out that she is your sister, and more importantly, your long-lost father is actually still alive. So together, you both leave the small village and track him down. But it's just not that easy. Shunya and your father are from a land called Arva Shulan, which is beyond the vast Pillar of the Stars. So it's up to you and her to cross this great chasm and enter the mythical land. The environments themselves are varied and absolutely gorgeous, filled to the brim with shinies to collect, treasure chests to find, branching paths that you shouldn't go down lest you get slaughtered, and enemies all over the screen. For the most part though, the enemies are dumb as hell. You could be 2 inches away from them and they still won't even notice you. So unless you get lost in the undergrowth or something, you could pretty much go wherever you want scot-free. I will say this, I did find it kind of difficult to find many of the chests because they are black and they do blend into the background. However, they do get much easier to find as the game goes on. To help you find your way around, you could use the square button to help pull up a large map, and there's also a mini-map on the screen too. And while your basic movement speed is pretty fast, you can also dash with the R2 button, though that does consume the stamina meter. However, it is the most generous stamina meter I've ever seen in my entire life, so I wouldn't even worry about that. It's really a non-issue. Other things that you're going to notice on your minimap are campsites for resting, side quest points of interest, enemy locations, and save points. Now, let's talk about this battle system, which I just adore. I would have to say that the closest thing that I could possibly compare it to would be Grandia, and in that comparison, higher praise was never heaped. I love Grandia. It uses an action ring system where your characters and the enemies each appear on the ring. You begin in the outermost largest ring, but there are 2 smaller inner rings. Whenever you hit an enemy multiple times, they'll become staggered, hit them again whenever they are staggered, and then they'll get knocked back out into the larger ring. You yourself go into the smaller rings after using special attacks, getting critical hits, or using your Overzeal, which is essentially your limit break, where you can just automatically ascend into an inner ring. And during some of these boss fights, it is imperative that you get into that innermost ring as quickly as possible, and then keep that boss on the outermost ring to ensure that you have as many turns as you possibly can and also delay the boss's turn as much as possible. Special gems will also be strewn about the ring, and while they don't do anything for the enemies, they will help you by increasing up your zeal, restoring your MP, or giving you resistance to staggering. I also thought that the skill system was really neat too. As you gain levels, you'll get bonus points, which you can plug into various stats, and when certain stats reach certain thresholds, then you'll gain more combat abilities. Advanced magic works differently too. Shunra, the magecraft practitioner, uses basic spells easily enough, but if you want to use her advanced magic, she has to spend a turn charging up soul stones, and each of the advanced spells uses up a certain number of those soul stones. This makes it so that you can't just spam super powerful magic and blow all the enemies to smithereens. It's really here that I could end the review, but I still do have a lot more to say. Mostly in regards of how I feel about this game is kind of done dirty. As I said before, whenever I got it, I really knew next to nothing about it, and I certainly wasn't expecting to find one of the most fun combat systems, along with some of the most adorable characters and the most massive, open, gorgeous environments that I've seen lately. This game deserves to do well, but I also know that it won't, because it's going to become a victim of what I like to be calling only being half localized. This little curse seems to afflict many RPGs nowadays, most recently with Marvel Kingdom Chronicles, where everything was in English except for the song lyrics inexplicitly being in Japanese. And it's the same sort of thing going on here. Not only is all the voice acting only in Japanese, but many of the proper nouns aren't really localized. Yeah, they might be translated, but they're not localized into something that I can actually understand. There is a big difference here, and they're constantly throwing tons of Japanese terms at you as if you're like supposed to be fluent in the language or something. Like, listen, I just want to play a fun game. I don't want to have to like break out the Rosetta Stone here. Okay, now that I'm off my soapbox, if you could put that aside, you are seriously going to find one of the best classic, traditional turn-based RPGs of recent years. Sometimes I hate whenever RPGs just like try to do too much, or they just try to become something that they aren't, and they have to add in all sorts of like little bullshitty gimmicks that nobody really cares about, and that just kind of like end up dragging the whole experience down. But I am happy to say that Monochrome Mobius knows exactly what it is, and it does it well. Many times before I play through a game for like a review, I'm under a time deadline, and it is what it is, and I just have to get through it as quickly as possible, so I end up going through like avoiding all sorts of extraneous side quests and things like that, just really trying to get to like the meat of the game. But I didn't do that here. I took my time with this one. I did every single side quest that I could. I went off the beaten path where I found all the hidden treasures, and I just found everything, and I loved it. So that's it for my review of Monochrome Mobius Rights and Wrongs Forgotten. What do you feel about this game? And also, what do you feel about this whole like half localization thing? Let's get a discussion going on here, and let's all talk and chat about it, because I'm always in the comments too. And if you like what I do on the channel, please head on over to the Patreon to sign up for early access to my videos and behind the scenes photographs. The link to it is over in the video description. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.